Now we're going to do Stone, which is, the triumphant showdown, the return of Edward Norton versus Robert De Niro, and this time is personal. Yeah, this time Edward Norton is a prisoner in a Michigan prison. He is about to get out. He's been there for years for arson, and he's kind of squirrely, kind of creepy, defensive, whatever. Robert De Niro is the parole officer tasked with deciding whether to let him out to the outside world again. And when you know it, he's on the verge of retirement. So this is, of course, the tried and true one last case. See what happens. Take a look.
Gerald Creasy.
I prefer Stone.
So, like a nickname?
That's what my people call me. Can we talk straight? You gonna help me out, or what?
Just talk, that's all. And then maybe we both get what we want, okay?
All right! Free man walk in there!
I'd like to stay on my currents if I can see him through the review. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Talk about what got you here. You want to tell me about that?
It's right there in front of you. Why do you want to talk about that again?
Because now you're mine.
So you write what you're gonna write.
Hey,
let's just get on with it. I'll see you outside before you see me.
Stone! You want to walk out of here? You will go through me. You got it?
Yeah.
Then sit down.
I need you to get with him in person.
I would do anything for you, baby. You know that. I do love my husband. And all I'm asking you is for a chance to help you see him in a different light. Can I persuade you?
Nobody can know about this.
Didn't I do good?
Oh my God, so naughty.
It's amazing how much more dramatic the trailer is than the
It's
movie.
edited really well, that trailer. This, if it had just been about Edward Norton and Robert De Niro and their little mano-a-mano showdowns, and there are these long scenes that almost make you feel like you're watching a play on film. If it had been just that, it would have been great. Because it's like these two heavy hitter actors known for digging deep and transforming themselves for their roles. They had co-starred in The Score in 2001, which is this heist thriller, a one last job heist thriller. But this is more of like a showdown, like a one-on-one kind of thing with the two of them going against one another. And if it had just been that, like those scenes are great. I mean, Edward Norton is doing kind of a mannered, kind of showy performance. I mean, the cornrows and the way he carries himself, and the voice is kind of like raspy and high pitched, like he's doing a Casey Affleck impression. And but it's good. And like Robert De Niro hasn't done a really meaty, serious role like this in a while.
It's actually nice to see him really act and to remind you that he doesn't just do Meet the Fockers movies and like Machete, just where they're just like, okay, just drop in and act like Robert De Niro and we'll throw money at you. And it's like, okay, he actually, he does some work in this.
Yeah, but he had done a couple serious films, in the last few years, like Righteous Kill, which is like a parody of a De Niro Pacino movie. But this was like a good, meaty role for him. And then the whole thing with the wife seducing him is so ridiculous.
Well,
Did you buy that at all?
I've had so much of really old guys with super hot younger women. I'm just tired of it. He's 67 years old.
Yeah.
And Milla Jovovich is, who I actually think is a good actress in terms of just being kind of intense and sort of energetic and stuff. But I mean, yeah, this is a movie where like you really have to be careful because you look at the cast and you look at the trailer and you're like, oh, powerhouse drama. But it's just sort of, to me, it was just kind of a movie where you watched people kind of slowly die inside. And like
including yourself in the audience.
Yeah, and that's the like Edward Norton starts off very kind of energetic and animated sort of and fast talker and like you're not really sure where he's coming from. And then he kind of slowly just kind of deadens or gets quieter and quieter. And Milla Jovovich is sort of this breath of fresh air, and they kind of build her up at first where Edward Norton's like, she's like an alien from another planet. Like, she's really wild and crazy and cool and all this other stuff. And she starts off that way, and then she slowly starts to die inside. And Robert De Niro, who doesn't start off doing so hot, and he dies even more and more and more. And in the end, I wasn't sure what it was all for. Like what the point was of it all. Like if this was all leading to some interesting kind of idea, then it's like, okay, well maybe I'm with that, but I just didn't see what the reason was for it.
Yeah, it's kind of an amorphous ending, which I often admire. Here I feel like they just didn't really know what to do with these people. And the main point of it, that they're like two sides of the same coin, that they're both two men with darkness in them and one is judging the other, or is it vice versa? Like, that is so facile, and they have this whole continuing thing with religious, like, Christian talk radio, which serves as this Greek chorus throughout the entire movie, and it's so heavy-handed. Like, the wife at home, Frances Conroy, reads the Bible all the time. Like, this is a guy struggling with demons. We get it. We know he means to be good, and he has darkness in him. Fine, whatever. But the whole idea of, like, they could be the same guy, but they're on opposite sides of the desk. It's so obvious.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, in terms of the religiousness, there's this thing with Edward Norton turning to this Christian offshoot called Zukangor.
Which is made up, I found out. It's not real.
I'm an atheist. They're all equally crazy to me.
I am too, but I had never heard of it because it's not real.
Yeah, and although it actually caused for me a really big problem because, you know, like I said, he's days from figuring out whether he's going to get parole or not. And then sort of goes through this religious conversion. And it's never explained why he did it now, especially now that he's about to get out. I say I lost a lot of sympathy for Edward Norton's character because, like, you're not excited about getting out of jail and having crazy sex with Milla Jovovich. Check, please. It's like, come on, I'm supposed to feel bad for you.
He is, but he's trying to find inner peace first. And I guess maybe the whole thing with the religious seeking, because he looks to different religions and researches them all before landing on Zukangor or whatever it is. I don't know whether it's because he wants to try and bolster his case, like, look, I'm a good guy, I found spirituality, let me out, or whether that truly happens. I don't know.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like a guy who's, if he's trying to play a game on De Niro, he doesn't play it well in terms of, like, when he talks, he just kind of, like, says whatever's on his mind and he kind of gets under De Niro's skin, but then he has this idea of having Milla Jovovich seduce Robert De Niro. And that is going to be sort of their ace in the hole of how he's going to get out. But yeah, just like the religiousness, I didn't really understand why he did that at that point. And then I saw sort of like this parallel of, like, Robert De Niro and his wife are very Catholic, but they don't really abide by it that much. Or Robert De Niro definitely doesn't do it because he's banging Milla Jovovich. Whereas somehow Edward Norton is more honest because he's grasped onto Zukangor and actually seems to be becoming sort of a nicer, more peaceful person in a lot of ways, which also makes him less interesting in my mind.
Also, when the cornrows come out, that he is going to be a good person. Because cornrows are like shorthand for, this is a white dude with cornrows, he must be a bad guy, or he's Justin Timberlake in early NSYNC. But once the hair comes down, like soft, wavy Edward Norton locks come flowing out.
Yes, exactly.
You know he's a good guy then.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where it's tough because it's like the performances are pretty good, and it's like, so how do you weigh that? But at the same time, it's like, who's going to want to watch this movie? When are you going to want to watch it? Like on a Friday, it's like, oh, let's watch that movie where those good actors we just watch them slowly die inside for no reason. And the performances are okay, but not in service of anything that I feel is terribly meaningful or interesting. And so that's why I gave it a 4.8, slightly below average, just because I'm not sure who would want to watch this and when, and a lot of it. And like I said, it's just watching people slowly die for, in my opinion, nothing. All
right. And I'm giving it a 5, which once again means easy math for me. So he gives it a 4.8, I give it a 5. That's 4.9 to you and me. That's our average. So a thoroughly mediocre week. Next week could be really good, actually. We have Red and we have Hereafter next week. So 2 extremely different movies. We're in the thick of fall movie season, though, so hopefully stuff is going to be good from now on. So I love the faith. No faith. Nice. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Take care.